A famous explorer once said that the extraordinary is in what we do, not who we are. I'd finally set out to make my mark, to find adventure, but instead, adventure found me.
What's up, everyone? This is Ivan Alvarado with Level Cap Interactive. And this is my review for Tomb Raider. For the past 17 years, the Tomb Raider series has been through its tough times, and has also had its time in the limelight. As of recent though, the series has gone down a bad path of horribly written stories, and struggled to keep up in a genre that so many games have borrowed from, and in turn perfected. And what may have seemed like the series' last chance for redemption, Crystal Dynamics and Square Enix have more than outdone themselves in retaking the crown, and bringing Lara back to the front of gamers' minds. In this origin story, Lara starts out as a vulnerable and afraid young adventurer, out to explore a supposedly uncharted island. The story doesn't waste any time in throwing you into the thick of things, as the intro movie thrusts you right into the game, alone and injured. From there, you set out to regroup with the surviving members of your crew, while trying to survive the murderous group of locals that reside on the island, and figure out a way to get off the island alive. This time around, the story takes a much more mature direction than any previous entry, and in doing so has become a pretty violent game. But it isn't just for show. It really does help to accomplish something. It truly does help sell the idea that you are really stuck in this life or death situation, where making the wrong choices can lead to a grisly death.
It was so horrible. It's all my fault.
With this more mature take, it also helps make Lara a more believable character, since you are essentially following her through her transformation from frail young girl to someone who might be able to kick Nathan Drake's ass. When you play through Tomb Raider, you really do get the feel of growing with Lara. From the beginning of the game, where so many things seem so difficult or impossible to do, she later gets the ability to move throughout the levels with ridiculous amounts of ease. Controlling Lara is very simple, and I must say, the automatic cover system that was adopted for this game was pure genius, and it just works. It feels great to see that someone finally got it right, when my character finally knows when the shit's about to hit the fan, and ducks for cover seemingly instinctually when near some. It feels natural and keeps you free from being stuck to a point of cover when one of the very smart enemy AI is rushing your position, while another is keeping you pinned in place with machine gun fire, and a third is trying to Molotov you out of said cover. With that said, thankfully the combat in this franchise's reboot has been handled with the utmost care, and has the best combat in the series history. The weapons feel great and sound better than they feel. They are also upgraded by finding salvage or separate gun parts hidden around the island. These you'll want to find, as they can dramatically change your weapon and be the key to your survival in the next big skirmish. With everything else going right for this reboot, it would have been a shame to slip up in the audio department. Thankfully they didn't. Everything from the sound of the gunfire to the crackling of Lara's torch is all well done. There wasn't a time I could recall where the audio slipped up, and that also goes for the voice acting. Every character is acted out well, and Lara's groans and grunts are convincing and appropriate to the situation.
Thank God you're alive.
God's got nothing to do with it.
Since the time this reboot was first shown, it was made very clear that the visuals were meant to push the current gen consoles to the limits and make a statement that Lara was back. There is no perfect game out there, and this is no exception to that, so there are a few graphical bugs you'll encounter, but those are so far and few in between that they are hardly noticeable. Now with that out of the way, it's easy to say that Tomb Raider is one of the best looking games this generation, and does an excellent job of capturing the grittiness and beauty of the island. This game never fails to impress, and that statement carries straight through to the end. Simply put, this game is absolutely beautiful.
Looks worse than it is.
I don't know where to begin with Tomb Raider's multiplayer. Being that the campaign was done so well, I began to have some high hopes for this aspect of the game. Well, those were shot down faster than a rescue chopper. The developers should have placed all of their focus on the campaign and just left this portion out of the final product altogether. The gameplay is buggy, and enemy players are like bullet sponges, sometimes taking a full clip of machine gun ammo to take down. The hit detection also seems to be off, causing you again to waste more ammo than necessary. There were times where I repeatedly watched as I shot an enemy player in the face with my pistol, only to have him continue to return fire and kill me in the exchange. I can't put it any simpler than to repeat myself and say this should have just been left out of the game completely. The campaign was good enough to stand on its own.
But look, the bowl, the candles. Why is she still being worshipped?
With The campaign being as well done as it was, it's hard to give the game the overall score it deserves, being that the multiplayer was so horrendously executed. But this is the reason games in our industry need to be treated as two separate products in one packaging when being reviewed. Our overall score is only justified by the means of averaging the two portions of the game itself, and this is the perfect case of a great campaign being bogged down by an unnecessarily added multiplayer. Do not let the overall score sway you from buying this title, as the campaign makes the purchase of Tomb Raider completely worth the cost of admission. Just be well aware that this game was only made to really be enjoyed by gamers who enjoy the telling of a great story or a great single player experience. My recommendation, buy it for the campaign alone and leave it at that.